What's up, guys? Okay, let's get back at it, shall we? About this Zeta Plus. It uses the manual from the Unicorn version because the build is the same, but the stickers are not the same. So I do also need to refer to a different paper over here for the stickers for this. So how's it going, everybody there? Gilliam, Ariano, Cody, Speedball, welcome back. Alright. I also just saw the notification on my phone that Tim also just started live streaming as well, so I hate to stream at the same time as him, but I got stuff to do. I can't wait. Fort as well, hello. Exiled Gecko, hello. Alright, there we go. And unfortunately, while the red color is a nice color, I don't know. Can't tell if it's a color that I like or if it's that kind of ugly red kind of color. You know what I mean? Like that ugly red, nasty old kind of red plastic. It's kind of that, but I think it also does still manage to look nice somehow. What about us, the Twitch people? Twitch people, hello, Spooky. Spooky Zali. Any tips for a new Gunpla builder? What do you want? What do you want from me? What kind of tips? Let's see. Number 5. Any tips for a new Gunpla builder? Let's see. My tip for a new Gunpla builder would be take your time, learn the basics. Basic nub removal, you know, get everything looking nice and pretty, and 7, 8. Then, you know, seam line removal, some basic painting. All these kind of things are good things to learn before you start worrying about getting into like kit bashing and modification and stuff like that. I guess one a beginner mistake that I see a lot of people getting into when I don't know, it's kind of a tricky situation because a lot of times, you know, a lot of times I see people getting out ahead of themselves, like wanting to get into doing kit bashing and customization and all this crazy stuff, which I think is better to do once you have the basics down, because as I've said many times, I think that if you're gonna take the time to like modify a kit and do kit bashing and all this kind of stuff, but you've got like bad nub removal and you don't have the seam lines and stuff removed and stuff like that, then it doesn't really matter how good your modification and how cool an idea your kit bash was, because the kit's still gonna look bad if you don't have like the basics done of like getting your nubs and seams and just basic building skills aren't there. Then it doesn't really matter how good your customization is. So on the other hand, I think it is also good to be, you know, having that motivation, having that desire to want to go in and, you know, go crazy doing a bunch of modifications and kit bashing and stuff. I think it's good to have that you know, motivating your building, as opposed to just being satisfied with just building the kit up as it is, just straight out the box. That's fine, but I think if you've got that motivation in you that you want to also go in and, you know, do a bunch of work on your kit or whatever, that's cool too. But I think you kind of have to go like together. So if you're feeling like you want to go crazy and do a bunch of crazy modification and kit bashing and stuff, I'd say that's great. But just make sure that you are also not getting too far ahead of yourself, and just make sure that you're learning what you need to know about just the basics, you know, first, or at least along the way. And let's see. Okay, no other sticker adjustments for this part of the build anyway. Very good first pick. HG1 is amazing. Let's see. I'm surprised you're not building the MG Zeta Plus A1. Well, Acid Blade, I don't have that kit. But yes, if I, you know, this is pretty much just the HG version of that kit. Yes, I know, but and if I wanted to build and if I wanted to build this version of the Zeta Plus, then, you know, between this P-Bandai kit and the Master Grade, which are actually probably going to cost about the same, unless you're getting this like direct for like the original list price. If you're getting this outside of Japan, then it's probably going to cost you about the same, if not maybe even a little more than the Master Grade. But yeah, I don't know, between the two, I mean, I don't know. I've kind of always wanted to build the unicorn version of this, of the Zeta Plus, and so when this came out, I thought, oh well, I'll check this out. It's the same thing as the unicorn version, so I'll check it out and see how I like it. I can repaint it to the unicorn colors if I want, or not. We'll see. So let's see. It's one of those where the eye sticker is separated into two eye stickers. It's not one piece to cover the whole thing. And we've got stickers for the sides of the head, it looks like, on here as well. So that'll go there. And that doesn't go there, it goes into here. Like that. And let's see, sticker 12 goes on the back of the head. Could be this little guy here. Yo. Like that, sorry. And sticker 11 go on the front. And yes, this one, like with the Vargo as well, has safety flags on the V-fin, and the actually like the Zeta Plus V-fin has like the little bits at the end, but yeah, there's also safety flags on there. But just on the topic of safety flags, I usually don't remove them for when I'm just building the kit up, just for review. I don't normally remove the safety flags in that case. I'll remove the safety flags and sand them down, everything, do all that before I actually go in to paint the kit, but usually not at this stage. But sometimes. I have done it before. Just depends. At the moment, I just don't really feel like it. So you got a couple of these little red stickers that go on the side of the head there as well, which again would have been nice. Shit, damn. Push a little too hard on that one. It would have been nice if that was a separate red piece inside the head to give us the red bits on the side of the head. Because even on the original kit, on the unicorn version, they're white, not red. But anyway, if that was a separate piece, would have been nice. But unfortunately, it's not. Let's see. Any other special sticker notes are not until the backpack. Looks like after that, so we're done with the stickers for now. We can just move on to the arms. Let's see. Let's see. Loop Guy asked if markers are a good alternative to stickers for the eyes. They can be. Well, I would recommend just getting some paint and just hand painting the eyes. Markers, kind of a easy thing about markers on the eyes is because the marker has a hard tip on it, and like, say like my hand is, well, it's a little bit too big, but anyway, for this example, say my fist is the hard marker tip and my hand is the eye, which is usually a raised detail, so like this would be like raised up above like the lower level of like the surrounding detail, and the marker can just swoop right over the eye like that, and you got your paint on there pretty easily. But you so like if you're using a marker for that, then yeah, you think that's kind of easy to do that, but you can do the same thing with a brush as well, actually. So don't really need the marker for that. While the marker is, you know, decent at doing that, it's not like it's the only thing that's good at doing that. Luke, if you're asking me what time it is right now, here it is 11:15 a.m. So, yes, let's continue. We got this part of the shoulder. Do you know how to get a persuade effect with spray cans? What's a persuade effect? What is that? Persuade effect with spray cans? Am I like just reading that wrong, or what? What does that mean? I'm trying to think of what you're trying. Pre-shade. Yes, of course. Okay, do you know how to get a pre-shade effect with spray cans? As far as I know, you just kind of can't. Can't really imagine any way of how you'd be able to get a pre-shade effect with spray cans with like any good degree of success. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah. Ben Smith, to answer your question about the safety flags on the VFN, I just talked about that a few minutes ago, and yeah, I typically don't worry too much about the safety flags at this point. I'll remove them later before actually painting the kit. Pre-shading with spray cans, yeah, I'm just gonna say it's kind of not possible. You could maybe work around it by like hand painting the pre-shading, and the problem is it needs to have like a kind of feathered effect. So with pre-shading or with the hand painting, it's kind of hard to make a wet feathered effect unless you like paint it and then you go back at it with like some remover or something, some remover or thinner or something to like so you don't have a hard edge from the paintbrush line. In that case, you could maybe do it and then spraying on top of that, but then that would mean you'd probably have to hand paint the pre-shade, probably with lacquers. Yeah, in which case would be kind of hard to do. So I would say if you want a pre-shade effect, probably the best bet would be to just invest in an airbrush, or just wait to paint your kit. If like you have a kit that you really want to paint, but you really want to paint it, you know, with a pre-shading effect, but you don't have an airbrush yet, then I would say just wait till you got your airbrush set up and paint it then, when you can do it real properly. Because yeah, I think without an airbrush, pre-shading is going to be next to impossible. Alright. Was this kit based on the old HGUC Zeta or the revived HGUC Zeta? It's based off of the Unicorn version, which I think was like a new design. So I don't think that the Unicorn version was based off of the old Zeta, but it's also not based on the revived Zeta, if that makes sense. And I think that's correct, although I could be wrong. I never built the old Zeta. And I don't remember like there being anything marked on the runners as like one of the old runners. But maybe someone else could answer that maybe better than I could. But I think it's an entirely new design for the Unicorn version. Otaku on Twitch said, "Hey Zach, quick question. I'm working on a custom CeraVe Sherazade, and I'm getting bubble issues when I paint. I'm using Tamiya spray can type. Any tips on how to avoid this?" You're using Tamiya spray cans, and when you spray the paint onto the kit, it's kind of like bubbling. That's strange. Just my first question, just to get this out of the way, I guess would be is, number one, did you prime first? Did you spray primer first or no? That would be question number one. After looking into it, I think it's too much paint. Yeah, I guess that maybe makes sense. You did prime, okay, well at least that's for sure. Then, yeah, bubbling is strange. Never quite heard of that effect, but usually if you're spraying too much paint, then you know what will happen is that the paint will drip, will run, and you'll get pools of paint. That's what I would expect from too much paint, but from bubbling from too much paint is kind of odd. I'm not sure I've ever heard of that, but yeah. Anyway, in general, too much paint is something that you want to avoid. Yes, so if you think that you're spraying too much paint, then yeah, pulling back and trying to spray less. Also on Twitch there, DZ Maven said humidity issue. Yeah, that's immediately what I thought as well. It's probably a humidity issue, but I've also never heard of humidity. I mean, humidity can be an issue and can cause different types of problems, but I've never heard of bubbling being a problem with that. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Kale also made a good point. The paint probably isn't agitated enough. That could be, actually. That does make sense. Maybe. So, yeah, if you're using a spray can, make sure you're shaking it plenty enough before you spray it. That could be, yeah. That's a good point. Often kind of forget that about spray paints, that you have to shake them. Yeah, that could be it. Good idea. Also, so since we were talking about this, has anyone chimed in with the answer on the origins of this kit? If it's based off of the old Zeta? I don't think so. I think this was just a new kit that they made for making the Unicorn version. So it's not based on any other versions of the HG Zeta. Riley asks, where do you get your posters? That Shinanju poster is from joshuadera.com. Yes. Lowell, you got to skate with Lizard King at a local demo. That's pretty cool. Man, his part in that first Death Wish video was so cool. That was pretty awesome. Anyway, getting to talking about some skateboarding there. Apologies, but yes, Lowell was commenting on my Death Wish t-shirt. Alright. I know this guy was originally an Expo exclusive kit released as a P-Bandai kit. Yeah. Right, I was thinking about that later on. Like when this kit came out, or like when it was announced. I think like when I talked about this a few months ago when it was announced as it was coming out as P-Bandai, and I was checking around because I thought like I'm sure that kit came out already, but I was checking around looking for it at being a P-Bandai kit, and I think this is the first time that it's been released as a P-Bandai kit, but yeah, it was released before as an Expo exclusive kit. Right. So I was like confused. Again, just bad memory. I knew I had seen it before. How is the Gundam stuff going for you? Shannon, the Gundam stuff is going very well for me. I'm just unfortunately kind of in the middle of moving, so it's not very fun at the moment, but once I'm moved. I will say though, guys, the new kind of office space, my new office, instead of this room, the new space where I'm going to be working, is I think going to be really nice. So that'll be good. It's nice working at home, but working outside of the home and gives me at least the chance to kind of rework the space a little bit, and I think the new setup and everything will be pretty cool. So I've been working on getting some stuff organized there, and got some more stuff to move over the next couple days to there, and then probably going into this weekend a little bit, but I don't like to work too much on the weekend, so but probably going into the weekend a little bit, and then more so into the beginning part of next week of getting everything all situated there. So then like probably around the end of next week is when I'll actually really be able to start going into like proper production of new videos and stuff for you guys there from the new spot. So it'll be cool though. And also getting some new lights and stuff, and hopefully getting a new camera, I think, as well, to be set up. So that stuff I think I won't have ready right away, but that will be coming soon. But at least we'll be all set up and, you know, working in a new space, and then also some technical improvements lights and camera stuff will be coming as well, I think, in the very near future to follow that. K-Dog asks, have you ever built a Super Robot Wars kit? Yes, I did build one Super Robot Wars kit before. That was the what's the name of that? The black one with the big massive sword. What was it called? I don't think I have it here anymore. What is it? You know what I'm talking about. Come on. Ryan, how's it going, buddy? There on Facebook. Can't wait to see your new setup. Like, yes. Can't wait to show everyone. I'll miss your old one. I'll be waiting for a new tour video in your setup. Yeah, definitely. I'll do a new tour video of the new setup and everything. For sure. Don't worry. The Gegen Scudo? No, it's not that. What? I did a review of it. Just search on YouTube, Zuck Aurelius Super Robot Wars. I'm sure you'll find it. I did. What was the name of it? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Something Gelmer? Slade Gelmer? Is that right? Something. Yeah. Is that right? It sounds not exactly right. Slade Gelmer? I think that's right. Yes? No? Thrungelmer. Someone said no. It's very similar to that, but... Or I mean the name is similar to that, so I'm guessing the robot is maybe similar as well, but... I don't know about that one, but that's not quite it either. Slade Gummer, yeah, okay. I guess that's it. Yeah, I think that's the only Super Robot Wars kit that I've ever done. There aren't a ton of Super Robot Wars kits, but I know there are some. And there's some pretty interesting designs. Let's see. Yes, that was his first one. Should I get the Moon Gundam or 2 Hugs kits? Huh? What? The Moon Gundam or 2 Hugs kits? I think you mean to say 2 HG kits? In that case, I guess you mean because the Moon Gundam is kind of expensive, so between getting the Moon Gundam or 2 other cheaper HG kits? Yeah, I mean, I can understand the dilemma there. But I don't know. Moon Gundam is a really great kit, but if you want more stuff to build, then, you know, I guess getting something else, getting 2 cheaper kits would be a good way to go, I suppose, but you could always just get 1 kit now and get other kit later. And the way these parts go together is a bit strange. So you got this big line going down the side, which is like sort of a seam line, but it's supposed to be there as like a line between the 2 colors, so I think that one's kind of okay. But here, the line going through the inside of the vents, that's pretty odd. And I wish that they would have designed that in a different way so you didn't have a seam line going through, especially like the middle part of the vent there. So, not really too keen on that. But there's that leg anyway. K-Dog says Moon Gundam is a must-have. I guess. It's a really good HG, for sure. If you're not like super into the design of it, then I wouldn't say it's necessarily a must-have. Bond. Does anyone know if that's Zach's backlog behind him? Yeah, kind of. It's part of it. Any recommendations for a first resin kit? Get something kind of simple. Get something that doesn't have a ton of tiny pieces. But it's kind of a trade-off, I guess. The more tiny pieces that you have means probably the less masking that you'll have to do, which is good, I guess. If it's all big pieces, then you'll have more masking to do. But probably maybe a little bit easier to deal with. That. Zach, may I ask what you do for a living? Alex, what I do for a living? You're looking at it, buddy. This is what I do for a living. Building stuff and sharing with you guys and spreading the good word of USA Gundam Store. Shop online there. Yes, yes, I'm able to do this for a living with the support of USA Gundam Store. So if you can, especially if you're in America, obviously. If you're outside of America, it's still possible, but maybe not quite as recommended. If you are living in America, though, recommend you guys to shop there. Let's see. Cody, living the dream? Yeah, it depends on who you ask, I guess. I'm not sure if it's necessarily everyone's dream. And, you know, before I started doing this full time, you know, I had a few different friends warning me, saying like, you know, you should really think about, you know, wanting to do your hobby full time, because it'll kind of take the fun out of it when it starts to become, you know, something that you have to do rather than something that you just want to do. As like your hobby is like your way to, you know, relax, whatever, you know, is what you do to kick back in your free time. When you start doing that for your job, then it takes the fun out of it. But I haven't experienced that, me personally. I can see how maybe that would happen to some people. I mean, the theory makes sense in my mind, is what I'm saying. But I never really worried about that happening to me. I never really saw that happening to me, and so far it hasn't. And I've been doing this for how long? 6 months almost. And still loving it, so I guess I'm doing alright. But let's see. It'd help if I, you know, didn't put things together backwards, I suppose. So. I found out about USA Gundam Store because of you and bought over 50 kits from them also. Thanks for your coupon code. Well, you're welcome. Thank you for supporting them, which supports me as well, so appreciate that. And you're welcome for the coupon code. That's, again, not really something I can take too much credit for. So, thank Adam for that. But happy to let you guys know about that, and glad to hear that you're using it. Oops, I forgot about this little guy here. There we go. On the back, that part's cool. On the back of there, just for that little bit of color separation. But yeah, the line on the sides is also fine. I just don't like how it's through that vent there. It's a bit annoying. Alright. See. see. Also, it's on Twitch. Dark Fright. Said, love USA Gundam Store, pre-ordered my MG Gundam Curios, and got some Alclad paints and 2 older kits that got back in stock using your code. Okay, cool. Yes, and if you guys missed it in the first stream, just a little bit earlier, building the Vargil, Adam, the owner of USA Gundam Store, was in the chat for a while, and people, of course, were asking him all sorts of questions about stock status of different things, when some stuff's going to be coming back into stock. But one notable thing that I'll pass on the knowledge to you guys in case you weren't there at that time was that he said that they were going to be getting in, I think he said some tomorrow and then more next week, of getting some more Mr. Color paints. So if you guys use Mr. Color paints, sounded like they're set to be getting a lot more back in stock in the very near future. So that's good news for you guys. So I'd say, yeah, I don't know if those will, like, if that will be going up on the site from tomorrow, or if they're like getting them in tomorrow and then they'll be going on the site, you know, over the next couple days or something like that. But at least by next week, I would assume there'll be some new Mr. Color paints you guys can check out on the site there. You know, if you use them or not. If you're airbrushing, I use Mr. Color paints probably 60-70% of the time. Most of the time I use Mr. Color, so I like them. But the rest of the time, usually if I'm not using Mr. Color, then I'm using Gaia, which I also really quite like as well. Gaia has some really, really nice colors also. So it just kind of depends on what you want. If you want like super bright, really bright, pretty colors, I think Gaia kind of has a little bit better paints for like the really bright colors and stuff. But if other than that, I think Mr. Color is pretty good for like kind of everything else. And trying to figure out how this is supposed to go on there, because I'm not getting it on there right. There we go. Any thoughts, experience with lime barrels of iron kits? No, actually, never built any, and I know not many of them exist, but there's some pretty cool designs. So I'd be interested in building ones at some point, but no, I never have thus far. Let's see. Do you use Tamiya acrylics? No, I've never really used acrylics much. Let's see. And this guy gonna go here, and this one here, and this one here, and this one here. I like how the beam cannons on the side of the waist have this little kind of bit of armor that wraps around the front. I'll show you, hang on, if I can get this onto here. Easier to get this on before putting it on the body. But here on the front of the leg, this like a beam cannon on the side has a little armor part that wraps around the front of the leg like that. It's kind of different from what the Sentinel versions have. They don't have that bit. There we go. Phew, a little tight on there. And those certainly bulk out the width of the waist section there quite a bit more than I'd really expected. But there we go. It's looking very cool indeed. We still got some backpack bits and weapon bits a bit here to build. So let's go ahead and get that stuff as well. Ty says Zeta Plus is my favorite mech of all Gundam. Wow, it's a very cool design, no doubt. So don't blame me there. And I don't know, I would assume probably the, like we were talking about before, how this was an event. This was an Expo event exclusive kit, and then later released as a P-Bandai kit. And I'm not sure, maybe someone can find out online, or if you know, if the event exclusive also included water slides. So with this being a P-Bandai kit, it does include some water slides, which is still pretty rare. Usually Bandai only gives water slides with P-Bandai kits, and then even then, it's usually only master grade. It's pretty rare to get water slides in an HG kit ever, even for P-Bandai. So that's pretty rare. But when this came out as an Expo exclusive kit, did it also include water slides, is what I'm wondering. And I'm not sure about that. I would assume probably it did. It would be pretty odd for them to include what the, oh, it's the wrong piece. It'd be pretty odd for them to include water slides in one version of the same kit and not the other. Speedball Hunter said, I believe the Expo did too. Yeah, it makes sense. But, so, just curious. I'm building the Murasame Liger model kit from ZA model, and it's pretty decent so far. Not as complicated as Kotobukiya's HMM kits. Does a fine job. That's like the bootleg Zoid Oak Tree there on Twitch. That's like the bootleg Zoids company, right? So it's like so for that, wouldn't it just be the frame would just be copied from Kotobukiya's HMM kit, isn't it? Yeah, I would think that the frame would be exactly the same as the Kotobukiya HMM kit, and then they copied that, and then they just made the different armor parts to make the Murasame Liger. I think. I don't remember seeing too much about that, but just based on what I know, so I think that's how would be the case for that. Enfrob said, any interest in the Aoshima Gunbuster? Sounds familiar, but now I suddenly can't really remember what that kit looks like. So let me see here. Aoshima Gunbuster. Yeah, no, not really. Sorry. That's that kind of like type of super robot that I'm not really very interested in. That kind of like that. So no. Oak Tree said the frame is entirely different. It's much more simplified. Oh, well, that's cool. I guess depending on what you want. I mean, I think I really like the HMM Zoids kits from Kotobukiya because of how complex the frame is. I think is pretty cool. It's sort of like a master grade kind of. But simplified could be good as well. I mean, less complex. It could be more solid, and especially for like a bootleg kind of company. I don't know about what their quality is like, but I'm guessing it's maybe not quite as good as Kotobukiya's, and if that's the case, then having a more simplified design for the frame is probably for the best. Will you ever get the Metal Structure New Gundam? Probably not. Number one, obviously, it's just terribly expensive, and then even if I got one for free, I just prefer to build stuff rather than having something that's pre-built like that. And also, just the New Gundam in general is just not really one of my favorite Gundam designs. I'm just not that really big into the New Gundam, so just not really particularly interested in that. If Bandai would have come out with that as a PG New Gundam, like that same design, but just made it as a PG instead of just like a gigantic metal build, basically, then I would have been much more excited about it. A PG New Gundam would be cool. But just being what it was, is just not really exciting for me. It's not the kind of thing that I'm really into. And obviously it must have sold well enough, but it's kind of similar to the high-res line in a sense that I just don't really get the marketing of those. I don't really get who those are supposed to be for, because you're asking people to spend a lot of money on something when typically people are buying high grades, master grades, real grades. It's pretty rare to spend more than $70 for a kit, right? Usually you're going to be spending more around the area between $20 and $50 generally. And then to go ahead and then spend like $150 or more for like one of the high-res kits is a pretty big step up when it's essentially like a master grade with a pre-built frame, and the quality of the pre-built frame's kind of dodgy. And I think those redesigns, my cat's doing. Those redesigns for the high-res kits would have been so much better if those would have just been released as just master grades instead of high-res. Been so much cheaper, and I think so many more people would have bought them. But oh well. Do you know of any GK that convert the Exia into the Astria variants? Kilroy, I don't know of any offhand, but I'm certain that those exist. I would be very surprised if there was no garage kit conversion for the Master Grade Exia to turn into the Astria. I'm sure that that exists. And it probably wouldn't take very long to find that, I would imagine. Let's see, someone else said here, that bootleg Murasame is an oversized figure from Kotobukiya Zoi's action line. It's the one you bought from Blue Frame Custom, you basically get a model kit form. Yeah, I'm familiar with the Murasame design, but so they basically just so what, they just like disassembled the like action figure and turned it into a model kit essentially, and like upsized it to be in like the same size as like the other like HMM kits. Kind of interesting. Has anyone built the P-Bandai HG Build Fighters kits or the HG Pro Shop kits? Not really, but I'm kind of familiar with them. Speedball Hauler, what's your question about that? Pork Flaps, Zach, those MC new Gundams are awesome though. The heavy weapons is sick with the Hazel booster on that guy. Yeah. As far as different bootleg companies go, MC was a pretty good one. They're not around anymore, but as far as I know, MC quality was pretty good. Yeah, and also Dragon Momoko got much better later on. In the beginning was kind of not very good with like the Tall Geese kits around that time, but then in their later releases, the Dragon Momoko quality got a lot better as well too. The only high-res kit I have is the God Gundam, and it was semi-worth it. Yeah, I was just talking to someone about this the other day after posting my work in progress on the God Gundam resin kit that I'm working on. And the high-res kit, the engineering of the high-res God Gundam looks fantastic. I mean, like the posability of it and everything looks great. The only thing is, shit, hang on, sorry. The only thing is the design. There's some very odd design choices in that, which again is totally subjective. But for me personally, like some of the design aspects of that, I was just not really into. Let's see. I was meant to put stickers on these wing parts here before putting these together, so I could try to do it while these parts are attached, but I think it would be better to take these apart. Easier to get the sticker on. Again, I should be paying attention to what I'm doing. And I think this sticker is going to look pretty crappy on here anyway, but we'll do our best. It's supposed to have red parts here on the wings. Christina! What? It's like here, 1, 2, 3, 4 different stickers to go over the whole edge of the wing here. Like that. You just realized that I'm getting old? Dude! That's not why my memory is bad. Yes, I am getting old though, that's true. Did you get the Gurren Lagann model kit? Are there any Gurren Lagann model kits? I know there's like different resin kits, but I'm not sure if I've ever seen any like plastic model kits from that series. Do they exist or what? Are you going to review the HGUC Infinite Justice? No, I'm not really a fan of the Infinite Justice design. So I won't be reviewing that one, but I will be reviewing the Windam. Once I get that, it'll probably be a couple weeks before I get it, and like I said, I'm in the middle of moving and everything, so it'll be a while. A little bit, unfortunately, before I can review that, but yeah, I will be reviewing the Windam. Let's see. Oof, how the way the sticker goes on here is going to be kind of tricky. Just getting back into Gunpla, built my no-grade original RX 93. It's been sitting in the box till recently, now building the RX 93 as one of my first 21st century kits. Well, that's going to be quite the difference between the old New Gundam and the new Gundam. Wow. This sticker is just not going to want to work very well on here, I think. And I think maybe... Oops. Maybe it'd be better to put this long one on here first. Let's see. Put this on here first. there needs to be a PG Goof custom. I mean, I love the Goof custom, and a PG of it would be pretty cool. Kind of unlikely, but I mean, I'd be happy if that got made. Yeah, that would definitely work out better to put the long sticker on there first. Anyway, phew, that's a lot of stickers just to make that. Whoa, and why did that shoulder armor just disintegrate? Just touched it and it fell apart. Oops. What the hell happened there? You agree with Alex? Yeah, I think there's a lot of us who would agree with Alex in that a PG Goof custom would be pretty awesome. Honestly, just a 2.0 Master Grade would be fine with me. I just kind of prefer Master Grade over Perfect Grade myself, but you know, Perfect Grade it would be cool. It would be big. That's for sure. Yeah, those shoulder armor pieces there I think are just kind of loose. The connection is not very good between them, so probably not going to be the last time that those come apart. Alex, finishing my second build ever, the RG Exia. What do you think I should do next as a beginner? Whatever looks cool to you. Just whatever kit you think looks cool is what I would recommend. You don't really need to worry so much about what's necessarily good for a beginner or not. How old am I? How old am I? 32. 29, not too far off. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people in a very similar age range as me, because we were the people who were like right at the right time to like be watching Toonami when Gundam first came on TV. So there's like a lot of Gundam fans around the same age as me, like around 30, give or take. And a lot of younger fans, of course, exist out there as well, like someone saying they're 15, whatever. Obviously, with every kind of big hit new Gundam show, you got like a new wave of fans. So, and most recently with Iron Blood Orphans and Build Fighters, a lot of younger fans around as well. Branchy Giraffe said, "Hey Zach, what's your favorite Gundam series?" Here's Iron Blood Orphans. Mine would be a toss-up between 8th MS Team, Unicorn, and Turn A are some of my favorite Gundam series. Is there any way of getting cheaper shipping from Samuel Decal? Not that I know of. I mean, I'm as far as my experience goes with Samuel Decal, I haven't ordered anything from very recently. I will have maybe something coming from him, I think next month or so. But Samuel Decal, he's usually very good about kind of making any of the cheapest options available. So, you know, usually whatever is the cheapest, he'll offer to you. So if you find his rates are too expensive, I'd say there's probably nothing else much that you can do about that. It's not like he's intentionally like holding out to make you pay for the more expensive shipping option. We need an IBO RG line. I wouldn't really have that same sentiment. I think the new MG IBO stuff is cool, and stuff I say because I can assume that the there will be more MGs after the Barbatos. I can assume the Barbatos is certainly not going to be the only MG from Iron Blood Orphans, but I'm happy with just getting a couple of nice MGs from Iron Blood Orphans. I don't really necessarily need RGs as well. But again, that's just because I prefer Master Grade over Real Grade, but I suppose if you prefer the Real Grade line, waiting for MG Floros. Yeah, MG Floros would be cool. Yeah. That'd be a fun one. Alright. There's it for all the stickers. I'd love to see an RG Turn A. Yeah. I think so. Despite being a big fan of the Turn A anime, I'm not super into the kit. I mean, like, both the HG kit and the MG are really nice kits. But I just like didn't super enjoy them as far as kits go. Let's see. I think where's the other wing bit? Hey! Oh, there it is. Phew! But I lost that. And I think that goes like that. You hope that Bandai will make an HGUC Turn X. Yeah, I do. I mean, an HG Turn X would be pretty cool. Definitely. Yeah, but like I was saying, I think like an RG Turn A, no doubt, would be a really good kit, because other versions of the Turn A, the Master Grade and the High Grade, are both really awesome kits. Just for some reason, I don't know. Once I build them, I'm just not really that like really excited about the design. For whatever reason. Like, I don't know. But I am really excited about this shield design. I love the shield design for this kit. Really interesting. I think that's right. I think the fins are supposed to be kind of pointing up a little bit like that, right? I guess so. Looks right. I think so. So that goes onto the arm like that, I suppose, sticking up if you want to have it sticking up. And then I just can't get over the mustache of the Turn A. Well, yeah, the mustache doesn't really bother me. It's not that. It's not like the design. The design I'm fine with. I'm not one of those people who doesn't like the Turn A because of its design. I don't know what it is about it. It's just the kit doesn't just... It's just a personal thing. I think it doesn't just have the the same kind of cool factor that I look for in kits. I don't know. But there's the Zeta Plus. And it's pretty cool, I gotta say. Again, I've never built the Master Grade, so I can't really compare it, but it does have a couple of seam lines here and there. Certainly sticker heavy in certain areas, but still a pretty cool design, I would say. Do Master Grade Zaku 2.0 hard to assemble? No, Master Grade Zaku 2.0s are not really hard to assemble, but they're really fun to assemble. Highly recommend getting one of the Master Grade 2.0 Zakus. Really fantastic kits. And there's a bunch of them to choose from, so that's good. Wish we were getting an RG GPO2. Yeah, that would be kind of cool, I guess. I would prefer just a Master Grade 2.0. The RG would be kind of cool. A big bulky design like that in real grade could work pretty well, I think. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. Got a couple kits built, but now I need to get back to the whole moving process. So moving some stuff today, and again, just a reminder, I talked about this at the beginning of the streaming today, but I'll just remind you guys, for those of you who are around now, I'll be streaming again tomorrow morning with Josh to do another episode of Plum on the Trend with Josh, and then that'll be it for this space here. And then Friday morning I have another interview, and that's going to be with Moki Mats. So I'll have my what's going on, Matt? How are you doing? Yeah, I'll have my interview with Moki on Friday morning. That'll be from the new space, I'm pretty sure. So that'll be there. And so I'll also make a video, like kind of just showing a little bit about moving the stuff out of here and then getting all set up in the new space. And I also have another video that I'll try to get out sometime in the next couple of days to share with you guys about an announcement that I want to let you guys know about. But yeah, other than that, it's gonna not a whole lot of videos or streaming for the next at least week or so. But a couple things lined up for this week, at least, and then so just stay tuned for that. Anyway, so I'll see you guys later. Have a good rest of the day, and bye-bye, goodbye, enjoy, have a nice